Welcome everyone. My name is Piotr Stawirej. Today I'm going to tell you about the communication, how it can improve your skills, how you can handle the daily situation. I hope you will keep up. We have plenty of materials. You think you are already experts in those subjects. There are plenty more pretty good presentations somewhere else. Here are the doors, you can leave the room. Also, I hope you will keep up because I don't like to talk with the people and talk to them twice. Also, if you would like to ask me some questions, we don't have time for this. And you need to listen to me very carefully because I'm very experienced in handling very different situations, about handling people, how to talk to them. And basically, I know what to tell to them, what I need from them, and they do what I tell to them. Okay, what did just happen? First of all, I've just killed my first impression, so don't vote yet on the Devoxx app. Secondly, do you think this is the proper way of the communication? Yes, yes, I've expected that question. Thirdly, if you think this situation was exaggerated, you are wrong. This was some part of my experience, like communicating that way, and also there was pretty much stressful situation handled with much more anger and with much more anxiety. So, what are my goals? I would like to share with you how the communication skills and why they are so important, not only the technical part. During my 12 years of experience as a software developer, I've made most of the mistakes in this topic and most horrific ones. There will be pretty lot of examples based, unfortunately, of my experience, personal experience, and about the situation I have. So, why we are going to tackle this topic in the first place? And you know that you are a pretty brave audience because you came to the topic about the communication, and it is led by software developer. So, some time ago, I found this quote from the Philip Greenspan, which was, "That's one reason I don't miss IT, because programmers are very unlikable people. In aviation, for example, people who greatly overestimate their level of skills are all dead." So, let's restart this presentation. Now time with the smile, with the positive attitude. Let's see if I will be able to restart all this first impression. So, go with the Dunning-Kruger effect. Anyone was already seeing this chart? Great. Who thinks it is true? Great. You are wrong. I shouldn't say you are wrong. We'll go to that. So what is this Dunning-Kruger effect is about? So when we are starting some new topic, we have very high confidence that we know already everything after reading one book or one material or something like this. So we have high confidence that we know everything, we are already an expert. So if we are starting developing ourselves, not only in the technical part, but also in the soft skills, so then we are reaching the valley of despair, where I know nothing, I should change the job. And then we are having the slope of enlightenment when we are gathering knowledge and we are becoming an expert. Personally, what is missing in this chart for me is one additional line, this line. Somewhere here in some areas, you probably are already dead, so you'll never be an expert. For people and for me, I used to believe that this Dunning-Kruger effect is true. However, in recent months, in the neurological blog, there was a post, misunderstanding of Dunning-Kruger effect. And it looks more like data science because we have this chart generated in Excel on some data. And what it really says, the Dunning-Kruger effect. Here on the y-axis, we have like in the percent the scores. Here we have the test score, how people achieved their tests. And what this chart is saying, it's saying that green line saying about the actual test score. So how people perform in this test. The red line is perceived test score, and the blue one is perceived ability. So what this chart is saying to us, in fact, the Dunning-Kruger effect, like 75% of the people greatly overestimate their powers, their knowledge. And it is not only the novice, the juniors, but also an expert. So if you think that you know everything in some topic because you spent a lot of time on it already, it may be true. However, there's like 75% of chance that you are not entirely an expert, and maybe you need still build on the slope of enlightenment. So if you think that you are already a good communicator, probably there are chances that you still need to work on it. Who knows this guy? Who knows Transformers? Yeah, so this is the Shockwave. What is special thing about the Shockwave? Shockwave was the guy from the Transformers which was only driven by logic. No emotions, zero emotions. Something similar to Spock from the Star Trek. And he was pretty successful. At even some point of the time in this Transformers universe, he even was in charge of the Decepticons. So if you have no emotions, you can be pretty successful. However, we are not that case, unfortunately or fortunately. We are creatures of emotions. We have these tears, joy, love, smile, hate. We are driven by emotions, and the hard part is that we cannot control them entirely. Many years ago, I mean many, like 70 years ago, there was a study for advancement of teaching, which was then confirmed by Carnegie Institute of Technology. Like 85% of your financial success depends on how you handle emotions. What was stunning in this study was that it was first based on some people who work in finance, so people who deal with people. So there was not such surprise, but they do these studies also twice on the electricians that time, on the engineers. And it was also the true. So even if we are the technical people, it is also applied to us that 85% of our success depends on how we handle the situation with people, how we handle situation with anger, with the emotions. Let's visualize this, because as engineers we need to have the chart for this. So this red part, it's pretty big already. This is the emotions. Building only in this technical knowledge and building it constantly at night, at work, you get the point. Let's start for the criticism. So how we can approach various reactions. When I was a child, I had a German Shepherd, and I teach him a bunch of tricks, like simple give me a paw, or roll out, or sit down, or whatever. And each time he did a good job, I rewarded him with some food. The point here is not like you should reward your colleagues with food for every time they do something for you. However, if this works pretty good for the animals, and it was also stated by the psychologist B.F. Skinner, so maybe it will also work for the humans. And it will build up the better long-term bond between you. And if you are going to criticize someone or condemn, you wrote this crappy code. So what is the probability that this person will justify himself? And this is not the best case scenario. This person will turn on you and will condemn you in return. But I saw you've written those utils classes, and all this stuff which makes no sense are there. So how you will respond to that? You will get the condemnation in return. So be careful on criticizing. And there was a code review once. Imagine we have a code review. We have a team, we have the scheduled code review each week, and we have this guy who is nitpicky and says on each code review, when your or our code is under the review, he said that your architecture is not clean, your names are not pronounceable. What about the persistence? What about the hexagonal architecture? What about the structure? This is all bad, this is all the crap. You need to fix this, and I want you to fix this ASAP. So imagine what will happen if this guy gives his own source code to review. What will happen? They will crucify him. And who was that person? It was me. I call this like revenge code review. And it was very hard lesson for me, but it was very good lesson. And I never ever, since that day, conduct the code review the way I did before that. Yeah, I was sweaty much more than I am today at this moment. So it was very, very stressful situation to handle. So people will condemn you, and they will do this not because they don't like you, but because you condemn them and they want to have the revenge. What, as humans, we care about? First of all, health. Pretty obvious, we would like to feel healthy and shiny all the time. Next, food. I don't know how about you, but I don't like starving. Sleep. If you are younger, you can party for the nights and stuff like that, but in my age, I need to sleep like 7 hours. Money, or what is more important, what money can buy. They can buy you peace, for example, stability, whatever you want. Life in the hereafter, sexual gratification. We are not going to tackle today this topic because this will be the harassment and this is the wrong industry conference. The well-being of our children and a feeling of importance. So what we can tackle on this talk? Maybe the feeling of importance. Do we crave it? Do we want it? Do we feel that we would like to be rewarded in front of our peers or bosses? Or I'm kind of a big deal. I'm the most important person here on the meeting, for example. If I'm not talking, then the meeting is boring. I just need to talk and do all the talking, just right now. So maybe there is a situation when you are important part of the meeting, but you are not the only person. Do you recognize those gentlemen? A little hint, the one at your left is the John D. Rockefeller, one of the most wealthiest person alive in the earth. And at your right side is also John Dillinger, the gangster. How they achieved their importance. The Rockefeller built hospitals. He had a lot of money, but he would like to be recognized as someone who helps poor people. So he built a lot of hospitals, and he was very pleased when people said, oh, you are supporting the poor people, you are building hospitals, and he gained this recognition by helping people. John Dillinger, on the other hand, he just came to the bank and screamed, don't worry, I will not hurt you, but I'm Dillinger. He craved for publicity, and he used the deadly force to achieve it. And why am I talking about this? Because the way how we are gathering our level of feeling of importance, it makes what kind of people we are. Are we getting and earning our feeling of importance by helping people, by doing the right stuff, making the world better, or we are using the violence, we are screaming, yelling, and doing a lot of noise, and that's way where we are intimidating our environment, and we are trying and forcing being important. So this makes what kind of the person you are. If you are a tech leader, for example, or the boss, and you are going to enforce importance and enforce your people by screaming, yelling, and intimidation, this can be a real ambition killer for them. For you, it may be another yelling and another releasing the steam. However, for these poor persons, it can be really hurtful. And I remember the situation when I was unhappy about the work of my former colleague, and I was standing over him and yelling at him. And what my boss was saying, Piotr, stop yelling at Adam. And what was my response that day? Diamonds are created under pressure. And I wonder why Adam is no longer working with us. With knowledge I have today, maybe I could guide him a little bit differently. So how we can win people of our way of thinking? First of all, we would like to build an eager want. What another person wants from us, what we can give to that person, not what I want. We need to put ourselves in the point of view of the another person. Now in the IT, there is a lot of recruitation. What I see, I also conduct many of them. So maybe instead of saying when you are approached the interview is, I would like to earn 2,000 zloty, I would like to have all your benefits, but you have these fruits only in Wednesday. I would like to have them every day, and maybe I will switch the working hours. I will reconsider if this person fits best for my team. However, if you approach your recruiter and say, do you like sustainable software delivery process? I have particular sets of skill which allows you to decrease your cost because I will introduce the continuous integration, continuous delivery, code reviews to your environment, and as you are going to pay only me, so your cost will be decreased, and you are not going, for example, have this on-calls at nights or stuff like this. I also noticed that you are going to migrate because you have a set of code base in the Java 8, and now we should switch to Java 11 due to maybe the cost. I also can help you with that. And you don't have to pay additional money for the external customers or consultants. Sounds better? Would this person be better fit for your team? The same not only in the recruitation, but how you are dealing with the code reviews, for example. Remember this revenge code review. Maybe would you like to have faster pull reviews? So don't scream at people, do the small commits. Maybe you can show them and encourage them somehow. So I know that you are annoyed with this all big pull request. So look, maybe when we try an experiment and you just submit the 10 lines of code, would it be greater for you and for your colleagues? Would you like to decide about, for example, architecture? Can we postpone this political discussion about is it gonna to be Postgres or MongoDB or whatever, and now focus on the domain? Firstly, maybe we can move forward with that stuff. So try to think from the other point of view and become interested in other person. Like really honest, not like pretend, okay, I'm listening to you. And what is the important thing about listening others? Now, during this talk, exactly in the same moment I'm speaking, there are wars and people dies. There are some floods, fires, other horrific things, and this is happening right now during this session. And unfortunately, most of us are thinking, maybe it's too cold, too warm, is this session will be good enough or bad, or I have a stain on my new shirt because I did something bad on during the lunch, and we don't care about this serious stuff. So the message here is that people are 100 times more interested in themselves and something which touch them personally than even the most horrifying stuff. You can see this on Twitter, oh, okay, that's sad. Yeah, that's all. And we think about this for a second, and we don't pay attention on the real stuff. And if you talk with someone, this person, there's high chance that he or she is more interested in themselves. So if you are going to give exclusive attention, let people talk about their frustration. If someone approaches you with his or her problem about the code base, code review, or some architecture questions, let them talk and listen to them. One of the most valuable things I've learned is listen, don't think what you want to say next. This is like life-changing sentence and game changer for my life. Imagine, nothing bad will happen if you're not starting thinking about how I solve this person's problem, but listen first. And it can arouse that maybe I will add more questions to that person and ask more questions, and I will deeply know about the real problem, but not thinking already, okay, I already know what's your problem, this is the solution. Listen and don't think. Nothing bad will happen. You have time. And again, try to see things honestly from the other point of view. If we have an argument, for example, let's get back to this code review. Someone approaches to you and said, you wrote this crappy code. It doesn't fit to the solid, it doesn't fit to the grasp, it has bad naming, it makes multiple things at the same time. What is your responses? Of course, as engineers, we said, what? I saw your crappy code because this person attacked my child. He attacked my code. But how we can avoid argument? So there will be no argument. If you say, yeah, you're right, I'm also not pretty sure about the quality of this code, maybe you have some ideas how I could improve that. Sounds unusual, right? We don't talk like this. And these small things, maybe you feel already, these small things are blockers in our careers. So if you have an argument, you can avoid it. You can agree with this person. Why do you want to prove someone is wrong? You would like to release your steam, show your superiority, show that you are better than someone else? I don't know. You want to have this theoretical victory. I showed him or her, yeah? I am the smartest guy in the room. They should all listen to me, and they should listen to me all day because I'm always 100% right. So, will it win you the long-term cooperation? So, how we can handle such situations? With tact, diplomacy, and conciliation. First of all, if it came to the tact, control your temper, which is extremely hard, especially for me, because I'm kind of a nervous person. Okay. And there was a sprint planning once. And imagine we are on the sprint planning, and two most experienced developers and architects are arguing about what kind, for example, storage we are going to use. Will it be the Postgres or Elasticsearch or something else? And this is crucial part to decide this right now. We cannot go further with this user story. No way. We have to decide, and everyone was on his side. One was Postgres, for example, one was Elasticsearch, and there was a huge argue. And there was a yelling, arguing, and what do you think? Was this fruitful meeting? What happened? We have to postpone the whole meeting. We waste the company time. We waste the time of our colleagues. No one will step off. Everyone was arguing, and we just lost our nerves, lost our health, lost company money, and lost as a professionals in the first place. If we have some code reviews, there was also the pretty cool session yesterday about how to handle the code reviews. And you have the remark like, you misspelled successfully. So what is common interpretation to that statement? hey, good buddy, you misspelled successfully, but I feel you are smart. It was probably just a typo. Who thinks that? Or we are selecting, great. Or we are selecting the interpretation to, you misspelled successfully, Demas. So, if we have some remarks, what we are thinking about the worst case scenario, probably. What we can do about this? You may see that this is very simple steps why this guy is talking about this. This led to real improvements. I will show you the bunch of the easy steps which combined together, they are game changers. Replace you with me. Can you rename this variable to something more descriptive like seconds remaining? Becomes, can we rename this variable to something more descriptive like seconds remaining? There is a bit of shift in emotions. Remove the subject from the sentence. Suggest renaming to something more descriptive like seconds remaining becomes, what about renaming this variable to something more descriptive like seconds remaining? We are starting, yeah, this is...
This sounds to sound like talking with, like you have a wife or something like this.
I have wife or something like this. Yes, on the further slides, I will show you exactly. I know as an engineer, this is totally strange. This is totally strange. We don't speak that way. I totally agree. Excuse me?
It's in writing, so
yeah.
Writing is something different.
Yeah, this is the writing, but also during the speaking. In the next slides, I will get back to your remark, because this was the very valid remark. And I agree totally with you that this is unnatural for us. Tied to the principles, not opinion. So we should split this class in two. Right now, this class is responsible for both downloading the file and parsing it. We should split it up into downloader class, parsing class per single responsibility principle. We also could apply the hint from the previous slide when we can, do you think it will be better if we could split this? Something like this. And getting back to your remark, applying exactly this kind of communications, exactly with that way, with asking questions, this rhetorical, this simply, which appeared strange and unnatural for us, this led in 6 months with this big argue with the architect from remarks like, I don't agree with any of your remarks, I will not apply any your remark in the code base, to, in a 6 months, I agree with everything you said, thank you, I will fix this as soon as possible. Applying this stuff. Yeah, so it seems unnatural, strange, but I was astonishing personally that this works, and it works pretty fast. So listen first, listen what people have to say to you, let them talk, let them finish. Do not resist, debate, or defend. Look for areas of improvement. And how we can apply this active listening. Is it also work? I had a colleague, which from time to time we see each other, and it was only like, hi, hi, how are you, and that was all the conversation. When I'm starting learning about all these communication strange things, one time I did an experiment. I applied all those rules I've already said. I was honestly interested in the other person's life, what's happening in the work, what will be her next project, what she is doing currently, what her plans, and I've listened, I've asked questions, and it was fine conversation. Like month or 2 months later, I've encountered this person, and I've known this person like for 3 or 4 years or even more. And this person welcomed me like long not seen friend. And I was shocked, because what's the change? So these things works, they are strange, but they work pretty fast again. I will underline this, and it will improve greatly how we are perceived by our colleagues. You are wrong. This is forbidden. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You are not allowed to say to someone you are wrong. This is like forbidden statement. I cannot force you to do anything. You can point out people are wrong, whatever. But there are consequences. If you are going to say someone is wrong, it is, again, the condemned. People will justify. And remember the Bolo Young meme, it will hit you back and hit you hard. And you will remember this. And my question here, how many millionaires do we have here in this audience, on this audience? How many millionaires? Raise your hand, don't be shy. If you are mostly right, or all the time you have right, why you are not millionaire already? If you were only 55% right, you would be a millionaire. You could go to some gambling or some stock market, buy stuff. Just this difference from the middle point, this 5%, will make you a millionaire. So what, you are not 70% time right? Not even 55? Let's think about this. I'm also not a millionaire. Not yet. And how we deal with the managers. They are pretty sensitive. Imagine you have a stressful situation in your team. Attrition like 35%, people are leaving to the another companies, you are unhappy, you care about your team, you would like to fix things, so what you are doing? You are the senior developer, you would like to handle things not only on the technical way, but you would like to keep your team together, so what you are going? You are going to your managers, take one on the soft skill books for the managers, and you are saying, hey, how you can't handle this situation? This is textbook situation. Look, I will help you. Here is the guidelines. You have this 8 points. You don't have to think. You just need to execute them. Please, I tell you, you need to execute them. Do you think this was an exaggerated and fake situation? No. Who did such situation? Yeah. So this was not the proper way of handling critical situation. I was not open to the second person. Also, this manager was from the another office, so he didn't have the full picture. I also didn't know the full picture from his side. I didn't knew his point of view. He was abroad, and I assumed he knows what I know, and clearly I was wrong. And the feedback was that even if I was right about the situation, I was not received the information or support I wanted because of the way of the communication and the way how I communicate. And this was the exact feedback I received. So apply these rules not only for your colleagues, but also for your bosses. Even you can extend this for your friends and families. Again, ask questions. Don't give solutions. We shouldn't give solutions. Listen honestly, listen actively what people want to say to us. And they will consider us maybe not as friends, but someone they can turn to if they have some problems. And when we listen, we can ask more questions, and it is a good thing. It is strange, we don't communicate that way as an engineers, but this is the proper way of thinking. I've learned all this stuff in the hard way, so my goal in this presentation is to share it with you, so shorten your path and speed up your career and not learn the hard way. If you are wrong, if you made a mistake, if you delete the production database, admit it quickly, admit it honestly. There is 100% probability that your guilt will be minimized. Your boss will say, you will be scared that I've deleted the production database. And your boss, don't worry, we have a backups, and I did that in the past also. Also real life situation. If you admit and take responsibility, the extreme ownership of your actions, you will be perceived as a professional. Begin in friendly way. Not like the first minute of this presentation when I don't even care about you or something like this. And this was in purpose to show that maybe this is not the proper way of handling the group of the people. So begin in the friendly way with the smile, but the honest smile, not like, okay. And there is a trick like yes, yes technique. It will build and arouse people and their body, their organism, and their neurobiological system into affirmative direction. What this trick is about? Try to get from the person on the meeting, or even on the conversation, yes, yes response at the beginning. So for example, we are going to tackle the security matter, yes? Yes. We both agree that this is the crucial part and we would like to fix this ASAP, yes. We have already the 2 yes. Person is in the affirmative direction. He knows that we are going to tackle problem and we are not on the opposite sides and we are going to solve this problem together. Appreciate people, appreciate them in front of others. Not like, okay, thank you, but don't tell anyone. Grab this person, especially if you are a tech leader or the senior. If someone is doing great, tell it loudly on the open space in front of the other colleagues. And if someone is doing great job, again, reward this person and say it in front of the other people. Not condemn like diamonds are created under pressure in front of everyone and you are yelling at your peer. So this will not win your way for the long term. If we have situation like someone is approaching for us, for example, we would like to have a user story definition, or we are working on some part of the code or some part of the design architecture, and we would like to cooperate with some person, and even if we don't want to cooperate, but this person has some remarks, and we don't want to be in opposite with that person and argue, invite this person to this work. There can be 2 outcomes. If you invite someone or someone approaches you with problem and could you solve this for me? And you are like, could you prepare some reports for me? And this person will be, I will find someone else. So problem solved. Or this person will be, yeah, I will help you. And then if you are asking for the ideas and let the person be a part of the work and you are doing something together, you decrease the probability that this person will also condemn its own work. Huh? Such a trick, because if someone gives you a hint that we should do the architecture that way, so you decrease the chances that this person will say, well, I was wrong. Huh? And the magic sentence, if you see that someone is in anxiety and is not feeling well and complains, is like, I don't blame you 1 iota for feeling as you do. If I were you, I would undoubtedly feel just as you do. So this is the magic statement that you are showing your empathy. We can emulate empathy as a programmers. We don't have it, as I learned. But we can emulate this and try to emulate this honestly. But we are showing our compassion and it win our way of thinking to the people. As Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, don't diminish people. You have no right. Hurting a man is his dignity is a crime. So pay attention what you are saying, because even if for you it's just like a snap, and I don't remember about this in a second, for this person it can be hurtful, and he or she can remember this for the long period of time. I don't know if you remember this pretty old movie, Dangerous Minds. The Michelle Pfeiffer at this movie starring as a teacher, and there was a troubled youth, and what she did, she gave this person reputation to live for. She said, you are all A students. You are great, I give you all A's. What you have to do, you just have to keep up. This is exactly what I'm doing with, for example, teaching people the test-driven development. I'm saying, I saw you on a training session, you did great, you have capability of doing this exercise, you did this well, and I'm sure that you are able to proceed with this in your daily work. You don't have to do excuses that this is the production, this is the same situation, you also have me to help you, you are capable of doing this. Jerzy Grębosz, who remember that guy? He wrote the Symphonia C++. Yes.
And C++ Passion.
And C++ Passion, yes. Also great books. And he said that there are two ways of writing books. First is, look how smart I am. Then I remember most of my teachers on the college. And the second, look how simple it is. And this is my basically personal motto. I'm trying to explain things in the most simplest way possible, not showing how smart I am. It's short-term winning of feeling of importance. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. These things may be pretty basic for you and feels odd and strange. So let's start with the small steps. How we can improve our communication, starting from this point, but I'm not feeling yet comfortable with thanking people, listen to them actively, asking all these questions. I need to internalize this, ask this, internalize this, train maybe in home. So I recommend you trick. Build in your brain the safety subroutine. Two safety subroutines. First subroutine is shut up. If you feel that you are not slept or you have bad day, you have some anxiety, you would like to point out people said that they are wrong and argue because you feel that you are not feeling well, trigger, like in try catch, exception, like shut up, I will not speak. And if you cannot handle this, we have an issue with shut up, this is my case, because no matter what happens, I need to tell the truth. I need to, no matter what will happen, I will not be promoted, we will not deliver the product, I have to say everything what I have in my mind right now. I've built up the second subroutine, which is run away. So if you are on the meeting and you are feeling that you are going to explode, trigger another subroutine in your brain. Just, excuse me, I'm not feeling well. Can we go back to this conversation later? This was, I don't know if you were participating, probably yes, in this keynote speech about the quality. And if you are not writing code, you are not introducing bugs. If you are not yelling at people, you are not causing problems. The same approach here. Now, maybe you read the agenda. There was like, these guidelines will help you in your career. So why you are promoted when I'm better at technical stuff? Someone asked yourself these questions in the past? You don't have to raise your hands. I did, and I've seen constantly people who are asking these questions, and their frustration rise because what they do, they develop technical skills only. And if they are not promoted, what they do, and what I did in the past, develop technical skills more, obviously. And I even heard the remarks like, I need to change the work probably because I'm not going to be promoted. I'm doing a lot of stuff technically. I'm sitting at night doing this, learning this. I'm better at those guys who are promoted. What's wrong? I have to sit more. And it's kinda not working. So what matters is the bunch of skills. Remember, 85% of your success depends on emotions. So if you are going to tackle them and apply slightly in the emotion side, it will improve greatly in your career. So when you are going to stack the technical, communication, marketing, speakers skills, and you can respond to me like, hey, I'm just simple developer. I don't need marketing or speaker. Do you? How you are going to sell your ideas about the user story? How you are going to sell and tell everyone and to architects, to the business about this new architecture. How we are going to sell that we have to migrate to the Java 11? How we are going to say and give your speech about how we are going to move to the another cloud provider because we are going to spend less money. So these skills matter at your daily work. And as I mentioned, these builds are real frustration in people. They want to change jobs. They are not sleep well because they are developing technical skills. They are building the frustration. And I see this constantly. I also had this in the past, but see this constantly in my daily work, in my trainings, also in other people. And you may say that, hey, you are working in Bottega, you are training people, you are paid for handling people, and this is basically what you are do for your professional life. This is only a small amount what I do in my professional life. I wouldn't be a trainer if I wouldn't apply those techniques in the first place in TomTom where I work. No one would hire me as a trainer if I cannot handle people, handle groups, teach people in my workplace and let them grow in the first place. I recommend you to experiment, try with those simple things. You may think like, this is like the common knowledge, this is like the good behavior stuff, and we all know this. The tricky part is, we know this and we don't apply this. So it's maybe feel odd at the first place and talking like some child or whatever, unnatural, but this greatly improves your workplace. At the end, I would like to say, start from yourself. Not like, okay, I was at this great conference, now you have to ask me questions, and now you have to be nice for me and pay all attention to me. No, start from yourself. It's safer, and it's provide more value for you, because you are growing as a human. Takeaways. Maybe you can expect you will expect some bullet points here. However, I've prepared, because I'm an idealist, I would like to change the world and improve world. So I've prepared the limited amount of the cheat sheets, like in the school, when you have like compact knowledge from this presentation and some more, based on the How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. So I recommend you, if you would like to, because I cannot force you to do anything, as you already know, you can grab this, keep the hard copy of this presentation in your pocket, in your desk. You can give it to your colleagues. You can already have the agenda for your company brown bag session or whatever. You can talk about this stuff. So if you would like to pick something when you are leaving, you are more than welcome. Now you can start training with giving honest feedback in the Devoxx app. I would like to thank you very much. The information about this talk is present here. You can download this also as a PDF, also with this cheat sheet. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, please approach me after this session. We can talk on any topic. Thank you very much.